Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. It's me Anil and we are in the series of online food ordering website using ASP.NET. In previous video, that is part number 10, we have seen the menu page where we have displayed the list of menus and where we can filter menus by category. Okay, as well as we have seen in the home page where we have displayed the list of categories, and based on that if we click on particular category it will take us to the menu page, and there it will go to filter out the menus based on the selected category. Okay, so that we have seen in the part number 10, and in today's video, that is part number 11, we will going to see when we click on this cart icon, this item should be added to the cart of that particular user who has been logged in. If he or she is not logged in, it will take them to the login page. Okay, and then we'll move to the add to cart page. Okay, this add to cart functionality may take two parts of videos. Okay, so let's get started. Close this. Okay, so we are on the menu page, right? So when we click on that cart icon, that item should be added to the cart, right? So for that, let's go to the design page of the menu. So this is the icon of cart. Okay, and we have placed that inside the link button. That means that icon is now clickable. User can click on that icon. Okay, here we have the command name and command argument. Okay, and we need to create an event for this command. Okay, right now we don't have any events in this repeater control. Let's create it. The event that we are going to create it here is on item command. So let's take it on item command is equals to, click the below arrow, so it will going to highlight the create new event. Now press enter. It will going to create an event for us. So our event has been created here. So let's cross check in our code behind page of it. First save this page and then right click here and you will get an option view code, or you can go by clicking F7 key. So here our event has been generated here. Okay, so first what it will going to check whether the user is logged in or not. If it is not logged in, it will take them to the login page. So first check it for that. If session of user ID session of user ID, if it is not equal to null, then we'll perform our here operation. Okay, and if it is null, then we will take the user We'll take the user to the login page. Login.axps. Save it. Okay. Now, uh, in this event, we will going to use one function, not one, maybe two function we're going to use here. So first, let's create the function that we're going to use here in this page itself. Okay, that will going to return an integer and it will going to take parameter as an integer. Okay, so let's take it here. Type int is item exist in cart. So this will be the function name, and it will going to take the integer id, that is the product id. So here we'll first going to take the connection database connection string. Okay, then the command that is okay. Okay, so let's take here first the connection string that we have already taken here. So let's copy this one, copy, paste it here. But before that, we don't have here the store procedure that we are going to use, that is card crud. So we need to create a store procedure for that, the name card crud. Okay, so let's copy this name, the store procedure name, and we're going to create that store procedure first. Okay, then we're going to come here. So let's open our SQL Server Management Studio for it. So I have already opened here my database, that is 40DB. Okay, so we have here the table cards. Okay, and we don't have here the store procedure for the card. So let's create it. Right click on store procedure, select here store procedure. It will going to give you a default store procedure structure, but we are not going to use that. We're going to use here one the new query. Okay, so let's create it. Let's zoom it little bit so that font will be clearly visible. Okay, create procedure, the procedure name, that is cart crud, cart underscore crud, paste it, and then the parameters that we need to take here. The first one we need to take, that is action, and it is of type varchar of 10, comma, product id of type integer, equals to null, quantity of type integer, equals to null, then the last one, user id of type integer, equals to null, as begin set no count on. So here now our store procedure will going to start here, and we have created here begin. Now in between this begin and end, we need to write our store procedure query. So first we're going to take here for the select. So first we're going to take here one command for denoting the select command query that we are going to take here. So here it will going to check if the action name is equal to select. Begin select star from the table name, that is cart review dot cart. Let's give here LIC, but here we want the information from two tables, so we're going to use here the inner join with the table product. Okay, inner join dbo dot products. Give the ls name as p on p dot product id equals to c dot product id. Here we need to display the details of the card based on the user id, which user is logged in, right? So we need to take here the where condition, where c dot user id equals to the user id that we are going to get here as a parameter at the rate user id. Okay, now we need to take here which column we need to display. Okay, so instead of star we need to display some particular column names. So let's take that c dot product id comma p dot product name, that is the name, comma p dot image url, comma p dot price, comma c dot quantity, that is cart quantity, comma, okay, we're going to give the here quantity ls as qty. in shortcut quantity, okay, comma p dot product quantity. So that should going to differentiate here with the cart quantity and the product quantity. Okay, so we'll give you the ls as prd, that is product, and for quantity qty, that is product quantity. Okay, and here we need to give and after this and. Okay, so we have done here the first one, the first if condition, that is for select. Now we need to take for insert, then update, delete, get by id. Okay, so all this we need to take here. So let's take it for insert. So let's select this one, copy, paste it here. Let's make it insert. Insert into the table, that is cart. We don't want this inner join here, so let's remove. We don't want this. So let's give the column name for the card table and then their parameters. Okay, product id, comma quantity, comma user id. Okay, and for the values in that we're going to take product id, comma quantity, comma user id. Okay, so this is for our insert. Now let's take for the update one. So let's copy this, select, paste. Update the update cards, set quantity is equal to quantity where product id is equal to product id. So for that, product ID is equals to product ID and user ID is equals to user ID. So this is for the update. Okay. Now let's take for the delete. Okay. So let's copy this update, paste it here, delete, delete from table name cards, remove this one where product ID is equals to product ID and user ID is equals to user ID. Okay, so this is for the delete one. Now let's take for the get by ID. So let's copy this select one, copy, paste it here, get by product ID. Okay, get by ID. Then here get by ID. So here ID include product ID and user ID. Okay, so let's take here get by ID. So here we don't want any specific column name. We're going to take here asterisk, select star from cards. We're going to take here the alias, as well as we don't need here the inner join. Remove this one. Here we'll need to take product ID as well. Paste it here, product ID and user ID. Okay, select star from card where product ID and user ID. Okay, that's fine. And let's remove this space. Okay, now let's create this store procedure. We have only the store procedure here, so we can directly go for here execute, or we can select this query in this store procedure. Okay, and then click on execute. So our store procedure has been created here. So let's check here. First we need to refresh our store procedure. Right click on it, refresh. Now you can see here our store procedure card that has been created. Right click on it, modify. Okay, you can see our store procedure has been created here. Okay, so let's close this. Let's go to Visual Studio. Now we are using a card CRUD store procedure, and in that we need to take here get by ID. Get by ID. So here we need to pass two parameter. Let's copy this one. So the here the parameter name is product ID, and the parameter here we need to give here is product ID, and for here we need to take user ID. User ID value will going to come from the session we have taken here. Let's copy this, paste it. Okay, so now after this we're going to get the data here in data table. Okay, then we need to get the specific data, column data. First take here the integer data type for storing the quantity. Let's take here quantity as initial as 0. If dt dot rows dot count greater than 0, and then we need to get the quantity from our the data that we are going to get from the data table to the column quantity. Okay, so that is the dt dot rows at 0 position, the name of column that is quantity, but it's a integer column, so we need to convert it into integer. Okay, so we need to take here open and close bracket, and here we need to specify our convert dot to in 32. At the end we need to give a semicolon. Okay, so we're going to get here the quantity, and we need to return that quantity value because we have taken here output parameter as integer here. It will going to return the type of integer data. Okay, return quantity, save it. Now we're going to use this function inside this event item command. Okay, so let's take here one bool variable bool is cart updated, cart item updated. First we're going to set it as false in I equals to is item exists in cart. We're going to call here our function that we just created now, right? So we're going to pass here the integer value of product ID. So we're going to get the product ID value from command argument, that is e dot command argument, but we need to convert it into integer first. Okay, so let's close and open this one with bracket, and we'll pass here the converting method convert dot to in 32. Okay, semicolon. I can identify easily here. So we have passed here this command argument. In that we're going to get the product ID. First we have convert to into your 30 into integer. Okay, so okay, then after that we're going to check what the value of if sorry what the value of I here. We're going to check here I is equals to is 0. Then we're going to add here the new item into the cart. Okay, so let's take here with the one comment, adding new item in cart if it is 0. Okay, else we're going to update the existing cart item. Okay, else yeah. So here in else part we're going to take another function, uh, but that function will not going to take here in this menu page. Means we're not going to create here in menu page. We're going to create in the connection where the util class that we have taken, where we have taken the connection class. Okay, the connection this database connection string. There we're going to take that function and we're going to call it here. Okay, so first we're going to complete this part, the if one, then we're going to move for this the else part. Okay, so in else part we need to insert the item, the cart item into cart table, because it's a new one, new item which is going to be added in our cart. Okay, so for that we'll need to get the connection string, the parameter that. Okay, so let's copy that from here till here. Let's copy, paste it here. So here we need to change the this structure name, that is card product, and here we need to take insert, copy. Okay, we'll want to copy here from this one, copy and paste it here after this one. So here the for product ID we're going to get it from the command argument e dot command argument, and we need to pass here the quantity as well. By default here only one quantity we are passing. Okay, so for that we'll need to take here another parameter of this one. Let's take here and give here the parameter name quantity, and the value is 1. And here for user id, that is the, coming from the session user id. Okay, so this will for the insert one. Now we need to okay, but here we need to execute that command as well, right? So that part is remaining, so that we're going to take here in the try catch block. Try, so in catch try, first we're going to open our connection on dot open, then we're going to execute it. If it raise or generate any exception error, we're going to catch that your response dot write. tx dot message. So what it will do, it will going to print a message that is JavaScript alert. It will go to display a message error and the exception message that it will going to get it from exception class here. Okay, so it will going to display the JavaScript alert. For that, using the JavaScript alert, we have to take here the script tag. Okay, and this will going to print here in the our page. Okay, so it will going to treat this command as JavaScript alert, and it will going to display the message what we get in here in exception. Okay, and after this catch we're going to take your final block, and finally we're going to close our connection that we have opened for database. That's it. So now we're going to work on for this else part, but as I said, for else part we need to take another function in the class that we have where we have taken the connection string. So let's open that page first. Connection, the this page name is connection. Let's open it. So first we have taken here the class connection, then the class utils. Okay, so so we are going to take the this from the so we are going to take function inside this class utils. After this, get image URL here. After this we're going to take public bool update cart quantity and the parameter name. So here we're going to take three parameters. The first one is quantity, second one is product ID, third one is user ID. So first we're going to take here the bool variable is updated is equals to false. Now here we're going to take that database connection that we have just done here in cart. So let's copy this, copy, we're going to use here this one yeah, from here, and we need this final block as well. Till here we're going to copy. Okay, copy it and paste it here. Now we need to update or modify some here this action name. Instead of insert we need to take here update. Update, sorry, mistake update. Okay, so the product id that we are going to get it from here, the parameter product id. So we're going to use that product id, the same for the quantity and for same for the user id. And I think here the quantity spelling I have made mistake. Save it. Okay, we need to fix that in that menu page as well. Quantity, and I think here also no, there is no quantity here. Okay, so we have fixed this spelling mistake. Now here for the user ID, we will take variable user ID. Now this one user ID, this one. Save it. And here right now we don't have this any of this the SQL connection class and all. So for that we need to take that. Okay. So, copy this SQL connection and to take here. Let's import the namespace of it. Press Control dot. It will go into open suggestion for importing namespace for this particular class. So showing us here using system data.sql client. Click on it. It will going to import. Here you can see here SQL client. Okay, and we need to declare here the object of it on the same way we need to take here for this one cmd, that is SQL command, and the command type that comes under SQL data system data. Okay, okay, so let's add that this here SQL command, sorry, SQL command cmd. Okay, so here the response, uh, we can use this response in our normal AXPS page, but not in class page. So for that we need to import a namespace, uh, that is here system dot web dot http context dot response. I think it's still we are getting here error. Okay, after context we need to give here the current dot response. Okay, now after this we need to return the this one. Okay, so after this here we need to uh, update the is updated variable value to true. First we have set it false when we have taken for the first time, where we have initialized that with the value false. Now here we're going to make it true. Okay, and if we get any exception at that time we're going to uh, take that as false. Okay, and finally after that we're going to return that value. Return is updated. Save it. Okay, okay, first let's check the parameter name. Okay, that's fine. So for update. Okay, save it. Now we need to call this function here in the else part. So first let's add here comment this function, this else part for adding existing item into cart. Okay, so we have made that function in that util class, but that class exists in connection class page. Okay, the page name is connection, but the class where we have added that function, that is utils. So we're going to call the util function, util class here with the object. Let's take here utils. Okay, now we can access that function. Okay, but we are going to store that the value that it will go to give, that is the boolean variable, boolean value, right? True or false. So we need to we need to store that value. So for that we have taken here this is cart item updated. So for that we're going to get the value from our the function that we have made it in it. Okay, so for that we need to call that function, right? So for that we need to use here this utils object here dot the function that we just made, that is update cart quantity. And as I have made here a mistake for the quantity, so let's update that the function name, save it, and to update here as well, save it. Okay, now you need to pass here the parameter. So it will going to take three parameters, right? So the first one, that is for the this one, I think product ID. Okay, okay, let's check. Give comma here, will come to know the first one, that is quantity, second one product ID, then user ID. The first one the quantity, right? So we don't know how much quantity. So here I think we have taken I variable here. Okay, in I variable we're going to get the item, if it is already present in card, how many item, the quantity that already has been added to the cart. So from that we're going to get that the quantity. Okay, and if it is 0, then we have to add it 1, right? So we're going to plus 1. And if it is already having some quantity, suppose two quantities there for that cart, particular cart item, now we're going to add one more, right? So we're going to add here 3. Okay, so that's way it will going to work. Okay, so that is for the first one, that is for the cart. Okay, the quantity, sorry, quantity. The second one is this one, product ID. But for product ID we need to convert it into integer format, right? So first we need to take here conversion, convert dot int to int 32. In that we need to pass that the e dot command argument. So this is for the second parameter, that is product ID. The third one, that is for user ID. So the user ID that is going to come from the session, but that also we need to convert it into integer. Convert dot to int 32 and the session value name, that is this one, session name, copy paste. Okay, so okay, let's break it down here. Enter. Okay, save it. Now it will going to update that the cart item. Okay, the cart quantity. After that we need to display the message, right? LBL, LBL, I don't think so that we have taken that variable here. So first we need to take that label control in our menu design page, menu, Let's take here one div tag. So here we're going to take our the label control. Let's drag and drop from here label or double click on it, change label ID LBL MSG, that is label message, and to remove this the text part, save it, and we need to set this visible is equals to false starting. Need to give here some styling or class equals to align hyphen self colon sorry hyphen and align hyphen self hyphen and. Okay, save it. Now go to the code behind page of menu. So here we're going to take that the ID is equals to that message we need to display. But before that we need to make this label to be visible, right? Because we have set that as visible to false, right? So the visibility we need to set it to and the text message that we need to display is item added successfully in your cart, and then we have to give the class to this label control lbl dot css class, and the class booster class value that is alert hyphen success, and after that we have to redirect the user to the cart page, but after 1 second. So for that we need to going to add a one line of refresh in head part of this HTML tag. Okay, so for that we have here one option for adding that response dot add header for adding any particular script to the head part. Okay, so for that I want to take this here, that is refresh. So you want to take this refresh, it will going to refresh your page, and after that refreshing it will going to take 1 second. After 1 second it will going to take us not here semicolon, not here, why it's adding here, I'm giving a semicolon. Okay, so we need to take semicolon here, semicolon, then URL is equals to the page name, that is cart dot xps, cart.axps okay. So it will going to refresh our page after the displaying this message okay, and then after 1 second it will going to take us to this URL, that is the cart page okay. Save it. And if it is okay, so here we have taken that this if it is not that user is not, if the user is not, and if it is, and if the user is not, and if the user is not okay, it will going to take the login page. So we have completed this part, the menu page. We click on the cart icon, it will going to add that item to the cart of that particular user if the user is logged in. If it is not logged in, it will take the user to the login page okay. So this is for adding item to the cart. Now we'll go to design. Okay, first we'll go to this okay, first we're going to take one cart page. I think we don't have that okay. So first we're going to create page for the cart. Right click on the user folder, add new item, web form with master page, and here we need to take the page name as cart, add. Now need to select master page that is present in user folder. It is already selected. Click on OK. Okay, so a page has been created here. Let's display here some message to it. Okay, so let's take here some designing part of that this page section. So here in this div tag, we're going to copy the label control that we have taken in this menu page, menu design page. So copy this one, paste it here. After that, we will need to display a message like this one. Copy and paste it after this. Here we will to change message, that is your shopping cart. Save it. So this will going to display the message in the cart page. Okay, and then after we're going to display the cart item in repeater control. Okay, so first we're going to display this one. Okay, now we didn't selected that the default page while we run, so let's make it. Click on the default page, means right click on default page. Okay, then you will get an option for setting start page, set as start page. Click on it. Now it will going to always run this default page in browser for the first time when we open that, when we run this project in browser, the this default page will going to display first. Okay, the browser. So let's run this project. So can see here the first page that has been opened while we run our project, that is the default page. Okay, now let's go to this menu page and click on this cart icon. It will take us to the login page because user is not logged in. So let's log in as a user. Okay, let's check the user credential from the database. Select star from users. Select F5. We have only one user with the username as Anil. The password is 123. Okay, so let's log in here. The username Anil and the password is 123. Login. Okay, so user gets logged in here, and here right now we have not linked the page, the card. Okay, so let's link that first here for this icon card that is present in our default the user master. Okay, open our Visual Studio. Go to solution, user master. And I think this is for the card, right? Card, and here the card icon, that is SVG icon. So here we want to take here this one, card page, card.exps, save it, refresh it. Okay, now it will work. Click on this. It will going to open our cart page, but it's saying okay, it didn't find that page. Why it's so? Let's check it. Let's go back. Right now we are in the default for user folder, and from there we are accessing this default page. So why not we are able to access the cart page that we have just created. Let's type the cart.exps, save it. Okay, now it's opening, right? But when we get right click on it, it's not opening that. Okay, so that means we need to pick the URL here. Pick URL, which page that we need to give here. Select that that is presenting user for card. Select. Okay, so let's get added here. Now let's check. Maybe let's click on this hot reload. Okay, and now this one reload this page. Okay, go to the menu page. Now click on this page, this icon, cart icon. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so our page, this means this cart page has been created, but still we need to display the cart items that are present for that particular user. Now let's check whether this adding the cart functionality is working or not. Click on this cart icon. Okay, it didn't display any message. Let's check whether that data has been inserted to the cart table or not. Carts F5. Okay, so data has been inserted in our this cart table. So we have only one user, that is the user ID 1. So this user ID 1 has been added item to the cart with the ID the ID of the product is 2 and the quantity by default it's 1. Okay, so that means data is inserted successfully, but we didn't get any successful confirmation message that the cart has been added to that, and it didn't take us to the cart page. So let's debug it and we'll check. Open our menu page, menu code behind page, and let's click on here. So the debug point gets added here. Okay, so that is a breakpoint we call. So we have taken here one breakpoint, and when we click on that cart icon, this event will go into call. Okay, and then we'll go to debug it. We'll come to know what's the problem. Okay. Okay, we are displaying this message when it is when we only update the cart item, not when we are going to insert a new cart into the when we are not when we are inserting a new item into the cart. At that time, we didn't display that message. Okay, so that's why I think it's not displaying that message. Okay, so what we have to do, we need to remove this message part from here and take this code outside the else block. Cut. After this else block, we need to take this message, save it, but we need to stop this project and run it again, then it will work. Okay, so let's stop this, run it again. Let's log in again. Now we're going to add this item in cart. It will going to open our Visual Studio because we have added the breakpoint to that item command. Okay, so let's press F10. So we'll have to debug it and check whether everything is working properly or not. F10. So here first it will go to check whether the item is already present in cart or not. But this item is not present, so let's press F10. We'll go to get here the value as 0 for the I. You can see if we hover on I value, I will going to get the value as 0. Okay, so we get 0 here. Press F10. The first condition, if condition, will going to match, and it will going to come inside this if block. Okay, so it will going to add this item into the cart. So the product ID is that is 3, and we are entering this cart item, this item into the cart. So it's get added. Now it will going to display the successful message, and after 1 second it will go into open our add to cart page. You can see the item has been displayed here. After 1 second it will going to take us to the cart page. You can see here the cart page has been opened. Okay, now let's go back here to the menu page, and we click on here this first one. This item, the first item is already added to the cart, right? Now if we click it here, now it will go to call the update one. Press F10. Here we'll get the value as 1 because we have that item already in our cart with the quantity 1, because we have the one quantity of that cart, that item into the cart. You can see here the I value is 1. So this if condition will not going to match, it will going to execute the else block here. Press F10, it will going to come inside this else block. F10, F10. Now press F11 for going inside this function update cart quantity. So we need to debug that function as well. Okay, press F11. So it gets open here the function update cart quantity. Okay, so here we're going to get here the quantity 2, product ID 2, user ID 1. So press F10. It will going to insert, sorry, it will going to update this data. Now it will going to return that true. Now here we can see the value to this is cart item updated is set to true. We have get the true value here for this variable. Now base we need to now we're going to display this message here. Item added to your cart. Okay, so it's working. Now we need to take the repeater control in which we're going to display the cart items. Okay, and then okay, so then we're going to move forward for adding the functionality of that add to cart page. Okay, first we're going to design, then we're going to work on the functionality part. Okay, so let's close this. Go to the cart page, cart design page here. let's copy this div tag. uh, After this div we're going to take we will after this div we're going to here we're going to paste that the get div. Let's align it first. Control KD, enter. So here we're going to take our repeater control. ASP can drag and drop from our toolbox as well. Let's open toolbox. Inside data, repeater, double click on it, so it's get added here. Let's change the ID for repeater R, and it's for cart item, right? Cart item, sorry. Okay, or you can directly take cart, that's it. Okay, so then we need to take here on item command here, that we're going to use for when we click on that update cart, and we want to update the quantity from inside the card. We need to update the card, right? So for that we're going to work on that on this event that we're going to create, as well as for the when we proceed for the payment. At that time also, that functionality we're going to implement the event that we're going to create it here, that is on item command equals to create new event, enter. So that our now our event has been created in the code behind page of this card. And as well as here we need to take one more event, that is on item data bound. Create new event. Now inside this repeater control we need to take header template. In header template we need to take your the table tag, that is HTML table tag. Okay, t head, table row, table header. The first one, that is name. Second one, image. Third one, unit price. Fourth one, quantity. Then total price. The last one, that is for removing the cart quantity. And the last one, that is for removing the item from the cart. So we're going to leave here empty. Right now we don't give any this the header name here. Okay, so we're going to leave it empty. So your t head we have closed here, but now after that we will take here table body, that is t body. Okay, so the t body that we are going to start in item template, not in header template. So let's check here item template. So we're going to cut this table body and the table tag, that is closing of table body and table tag. Okay, let's cut it. paste it here. I think that we need to take in footer. Okay, so we don't need to take here. Let's control Z, do control Z, and here after our item template we're going to take here the footer template. Inside this we need to take this table uh, body and table closing. Okay, so here in this item template we're going to take the table row for displaying the items. The first one that we have taken, that is in table data, we are going to take the first one, that is the name, the label name, not the label name, that the product name that we're going to display. Okay, so for the displaying that product name we're going to take here one label control. So let's go to the toolbox, double click on label. Let's change the ID of this label control, LBL name, and we'll take here the text part, single quote, in that open angular bracket, person hash eval function. Okay, in eval we'll to pass the column name, for which column we'll to display the data. So we'll to take here the data coming from the column name. So double quotes name, that is a product name. Okay, so we have taken for this the first column, that is for name. The second column that we have to take, that is for the image, displaying the image. You can see here the first one is name, second image. So let's take another one here, table data, and for displaying the image we're going to take here img, that is the HTML tag for image, img. In that we're going to take first the width equals to 60, and the src, the source for displaying the image. So for that, open angular backend, percent percentage symbol, hash utils. Right now we not able to access this util class here, so for that we need to import the namespace at the top here. Import namespace, that is footy, that is our project name, footy. Okay, save it. Now let's take here that class utils. You can see now it's came utils dot get image URL. In that we need to pass our the column name, that is image URL. If you didn't find any image path or the image to that part, at that time we need to take this L, and if you want to display here any message to it, you can take here. I am leaving it empty. Okay, so after that, second column, the third one is for unit price, that is the price. Okay, so let's take another table data. So here we're going to take that the symbol, currency symbol. So here in India we use here Indian currency symbol, that is rupee. So for the symbol, you can search it on Google, will get your currency symbol. I think we have already used for that in admin page, in admin somewhere in product. I think it's in product where we have taken for the price. We'll get there. Image category, didn't get that. Where it is here, copy, paste it here. Now we want to display the that price, so we have to take here one label control for displaying that price. In that, let's change id of it, lbl price, and where I need to display that message, let's copy this, replace with this, change the column name, that is price, save it. Okay, now we want to take here some hidden field for getting the product ID, the quantity, cart quantity item, like that. So let's take here the ASP.NET hidden control from the toolbox, hidden, your hidden field, enter. Let's copy this one. So copy, paste, paste. So we're going to take here three hidden fields. Let's change ID of it, HDN, that is hidden of product ID, product ID. Second one, hidden quantity. Third one, HDN product quantity. So here for the text part, we're going to value. So here in the hidden field, we have the parameter value. So for value, we're going to take, copy this value equals to, remove this, paste it here, copy this, paste it here, paste. Now let's change the column name for the product ID. Let's make it product ID. The second one, that is QTY, that is the quantity of card. Okay, that is this student quantity, that is the card quantity, and this is for the product quantity. So this one is the QTY, product quantity, PRD QTY, that is product quantity. If you remember, we have taken this column name as a ls when we are forming the query, okay, in select command. Okay, let's save it. So we have product ID, card quantity, and product quantity. Now after this table data that we have done the unit price, then move for the quantity, then total price. Okay, and then here for again here for this here we're going to take one delete link button for deleting that, removing the cart item from the cart. Okay, so let's take here one table data again. In that we're going to take for the quantity. So basically here for quantity, we will have option for incrementing and decrementing the quantity. Means by default it will going to display the quantity 1. Okay, and we need to update, means we need to increase the quantity. We will have option for that, like we will see one plus icon. If you click on that plus icon, the quantity will going to increase, and before that we will have one minus, the negative option. So in the click icon, if we click on it, it will go to decrease the cart quantity. So we'll to take that. Okay, so let's see how we'll do that. Before that, we'll to add some the Java one function, some code to the custom JS, and as well as for the CSS. Okay, so let's first save this part and then go for the custom JS. Okay, so we're going to take that here at the end after this client section. I will carousel here after this. Enter. So I am having here some code and pasting here this one use strict, and here there is an anonymous function here, and here uh, it will going to find with this class pro quantity, that is product quantity inside this variable, and here before that it will going to add the decrement quantity, that minus symbol to it, and at the in the right side it will going to add the plus symbol for incrementing the cart quantity. Let's remove this one. Okay, so if we click on that icon for this quantity button, so we have the class added here for the decrementing as well as for the incrementing. We have added this class qt qtybtn, that is quantity button. So it will going to check if we click on that class qtbtn, that is for like this one, whether it's negative or it's plus, means it is decrementing the cart item or it for incrementing the cart item. So it based on that it will going to find the button, which button is clicked. Okay, and then it will going to check the text box value. In between it, there will be a the text box. Okay, in that the cart quantity will going to cart quantity value cart quantity value will going to display in that input. Okay, so from that it will going to find the previous cart quantity value. Okay, that is the old value, and the button which has the increment, this one, this plus one. Okay, so in that it will go to find first it will go to check if the old with the previous cart quantity, if it is greater than 10, then it will go to greater or equal to 10, then it will go to add that old value to the new value. Okay, if it is not, then it will go to add that value plus 1 to the new value. Okay, so it will go to increment by 1 if it is not. Okay, or if that button is don't have that increment class. Okay, that means the previous negative button is clicked. Okay, the decrement button is clicked, at that time this else block will going to call. So here don't allow decrementing below 0, means if we click on the minus one it will going to decrement the cart quantity, right? But we don't want if it is fun, we don't want to decrement it to 0 or minus 1 or negative values, right? So for that it will going to check here if the old value is less than 1, at that time it will going to minus that 1. Okay, if it is less than 1, not equal to 1, means if it is 2, it will going to minus 1 and make it 1. That's it, it's not going to further decrement to 0 or any negative. Okay, so or else it will going to make it 1 by default. Okay, so this will going to add that in this text box. Okay, the new value that we're going to get. So this is the jQuery function that we have taken here, uh, that we're going to use in our cart. But for the designing part, for the loop, we have some CSS code that we have need to add. Okay, so here in Solution Explorer we have one page for this one for the CSS, like we have for the JavaScript, that is in custom JS. Let's open over here this folder template files. In JS folder we have this custom JS, okay, that we have recent just now added this jQuery function here. The same we have one page in the CSS folder, that is style.css. Open it. So here after this body we're going to add that the CSS code. Okay, so I'm pasting here some code. So I pasted this code from here. Let's close this till where it ends. Okay, so I have added code from here to here. Okay, so let's see here the first one here, second this one. Let's remove this, save it. Then okay, so this was the CSS code that we have to take here for our quantity part. Okay, uh, now let's go back to the card page, not here, the design page. Okay, so our event here has been created, so that's why the file is not saved. Let's save this file and get back to the card design page. Now here we need to take our the card quantity design part. Okay, so let's take here one div tag first. Inside this we need to take the class that we have just taken in the CSS page. Okay, that is product details option. Product detail option. Okay, we don't have detail option. Okay, let's take here details hyphen. Okay, we need to take here double underscore, then details here, detail option. Now inside this again we'll take div tag. In that we need to take class quantity. Again div tag class product quantity, that is pro qty pro quantity. In that we need to take here one text box, okay, for displaying that the quantity part. Let's drag and drop from the toolbox text box here, double click on it. Let's change the id of it, txt quantity, and here the text mode we need to take here number, so that user can enter only number in that text box. Text mode is equals to number, and for the text let's copy from here, paste. So here we need to take the quantity. Okay, now we need to add some validations also for this one. Okay, suppose for like the number should be 1 to 9 digits only. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So let's add here one validation also, that is regular expression. In validation regular expression validator. Let's change ID of it. Regular expression validator for quantity. Let's give here error message asterisk. Then for color, that should be in red. Font size equals to small. Let's check validation expression. So this is for the numbers only, and that should be 1 to 9, right? Save it. Now we need to for which control we are taking this, that is control to validate equals to this one, the ID txt quantity txt. Then display equals to dynamic, set focus on error equals to true. Here the main thing we take here, enable client script, okay, equals to true. Save it. Now this is for like we have done with this the quantity. Now we need to take for the this one, the total price, okay. Let's copy this one as well as copy this whole line, the label also copy and paste it in this table data. Let's change ID LBL total price, LBL total price, and here we don't need this one, okay, that we're going to bind that runtime dynamically, okay. After that we need to take that for this one, for removing the cart item from the cart, right? For that we need to take here one data table, and for that we need to take here one link button. Let's go to the toolbox, link button, double click on it. Let's change ID of it, LB, that is link button, delete, or remove whatever you like want. You can take here the ID. Now let's remove this one. You can give the name there itself, or you can take here the text property, text is equals to remove, but it will not going to display that text. It will go to display the icon. If icon is not displayed for some reason, at that time remove text will going to display maybe, okay. So now let's take here the command name is equals to remove. Then command argument, in that we need to pass the product ID, for which product ID that we want to remove from the cart, okay. So for that let's copy this one, copy this on the product ID here. Exactly that what we want. Replace these double quotes, paste it here, save it, uh, take it to the new line, save it. Now when the user click on that removing icon, it should ask for confirmation. When the user click on that remove icon, uh, it should ask user confirmation before removing that. Okay, so for that we need to take on client click property. On client click, it's not going to post to the server, so it will going to display a message when the client click on it. Okay, so for that we are taking this, it will going to return some JavaScript function. Return the JavaScript function, that is, okay, return spelling, then here confirm this. It will display message that do you want to do you want to remove item or this item from cart, question mark. Semicolon after the bracket. Okay, and here and to take here this the icon for that like I angular bracket I, close that angular bracket. Here in that we need to take a class, that is font awesome fa hyphen close. Okay, so now, okay, let's take this also in a new line, as well as this one. Okay, save it. Now it will going to display the card. Okay, but only the design part we have done, not the functionality part. But we want that we want three buttons after the cart items, the below. That is continue button, means when the user want to continue the shopping, so that first button. The second button for updating the cart quantity. The third button, that is for proceeding for the payment, that is checkout. Okay, so for that we'll need to take that the design in the footer template. Okay, so let's move, so let's do it. Okay, so let's take here one table row, not track, table row here. So let's take here table data. In that, okay, don't want this so here we need to take okay, so let's take here call span, let's go to 3, table data. class equals to padding left, enlarge screen size 5. So here we are taking bold on to display message, that is grand total. So before that displaying that three button, we need to display the grand total value. Okay, so for that we taking this the text, that is grand total. Okay, so after this we are going to display that its value, table data value. So again we have to take here that symbol, copy, paste it here. Then we need to take here that angular bracket percent symbol hash. So here we're going to want to display mass data from the session. So for displaying the session value, take here response dot write. Write we're going to access that session value. Okay, session name. So let's take here grand total price. Grand total price, save it. I think we have missed something. Okay, we don't want here the hash. Remove that hash part. It should get work now. Yeah, it will work now. No errors there. After this again we will take here one empty table data. Save it. Now this table row will take another table row, and that will going to take that button. Table row, why it's always taking track table row, then inside that table data. So in first one, let's take call span equals to 2, then class continue button, double underscore bit. So here we're going to take anchor tag, that is our HTML anchor tag. Okay, href equals to menu.xps class btn info. Here we're going to take that I tag, the message this want to display here, that is continue shopping. Okay, now let's take here class for this I, that is font awesome class, font awesome arrow circle left. this one with margin 2. Save it. Now after that we need to take another table data. In that we need to take another link, but one link button. And okay, let's take it. Table data, link button. Let's change id of it. Link button, update card. So here we want to take command name. Command name is equals to update card. Save. Then css class equals to btm warning. Then here let's enter, and here we're going to take I tag like we have taken here for continuous shopping. Let's copy this and paste it here. Let's change here the text, that is update card, but we want to take that text outside this I tag. Update card, and to change here this font awesome class as well here, that is your fa refresh. This one, save it. Let's take table data. Now in this table data we have to take another link button. Let's copy this, paste it here. So here where we have to take checkout, but we have to take here before the I tag. Save it. Need to change this ID as well. It will be checkout. Save it. And here in command name also we need to change checkout. Save it. Success. Here instead of left we need to take your right. F arrow circle right. Save it. Now it's done here for this. Yeah, it's done here. The design part is completed now. Now let's run and see. But we'll get error right now because we didn't implemented the functionality part, like for binding data to this repeater control. So first let's see that, and then we'll go to run it and check. Okay, so let's first here take some classes. SQL connection, import the namespace, control dot enter. SQL command cmd semicolon, then SQL data vector, sta, then data table, into the namespace control dot enter. 80. You have to take you have to take one decimal variable where total with the value is 0. Here we need to first of all check whether the page is post back or not. Is post back, not is post back. Then we need to check whether the user is logged in or not. If session of user ID is equals to null, then response dot redirect to the login page. Save it, or else it will going to call function that we're going to create it now. After this page load event, we're going to create one function that is uh, void get cart items. So here we need to copy the code from our menu page. Let's copy this one, copy, paste it here. So here we need to change the action name, that is select, and here don't want this. Okay, don't want this one. Let's remove, spell as here single. Here we need to bind our cart item dot data bind. Before that we need to uh, give the data source for this repeater cart item dot data source equals to 80 equals to all equal to 0. Now we have to take here one class, and within that class we have to take one property as a function. So we create at the end of this here. So I'm going to take here some code for it. That is, I have taken here one class, custom class, which is inherited from iTemplate, which is of type seed. Okay, and in that I have taken here one property. Okay, I have given the type here as list item type, and that type I have used here as a parameter in this function, in this constructor. Okay, it is the same name of the class custom template, and here one function I have taken, and that parameter I have taken is control. Okay, so here in this it will check if the type of list is of footer. Okay, then we need to uh, add some literal control to the footer, that this one. What if why we are taking this one? Because the in footer of the card design page, the design page, if you can see the footer part, it will get removed, this one. When the cart is empty, when there is no data will be binded to the this repeater control in the card piece, at that time this footer design will also not going to get bind. So at that time when the data is empty, so for that we need to display some record to it, like your cart is empty and still we want to display this part, like continue shopping. And yeah, continue shopping, we need to display that message. This message, your cart is empty and continue shopping, we need to display if there is no data present in cart. Cart is empty, at that time we need to display this uh, code in HTML, sorry, in footer as HTML code. Okay, so this will going to convert it into data whatever we need to display. Okay, so that's why we are taking this class, and then we are going to use this class as a your here in this our cart. Our cart dot footer template. First we have to set it to null, because the previous we have taken some footer some code in footer right here in design. So we have to first set it null, then we have to give our this one, our cart item, our item dot footer template is equals to new custom template. We're calling the constructor of that custom template class. Okay, so in that you have to pass the parameters, your list item type dot footer. Okay, so okay, now it's fine, so it will work now. Okay, now we need to call this function your else block of page load event. Here in else block we need to call that function, save it. Now let's run and see. Let's first log in. Now go to cart page. Okay, we got an error. Let's check here. Select card select. Let's open our store procedure of card of action type select. So let's copy this one, say quantity. I'm gonna paste. Okay, so now we need to update this stored procedure. This query, like this query is for creating, right? So we need to add here or alter, create or alter, or alter. Okay, now select the whole stored procedure and execute it. Okay, so it gets updated our stored procedure. Continue, refresh the page. Now that error should gone. Okay, that has gone, but the styling is not proper. We need to add some classes to it. Okay, then it might work. This button has the styling part, the booster part, but this one for this table, like where we have this taken this content. Okay, so in the repeater control we need to add that class. Let's open the card design page. So here in table tag, let's add here class is equals to table, save it, refresh the page. Okay, we didn't got your total price. That will going to do that in item command. No, I'm in item data bound event. Okay, so that at that time total price and grand total will going to display here, and here for quantity we are not able to get that the CSS applied to it. Okay, इसका इमेज का पाथ चेक करते हैं, यहाँ पे राइट क्लिक करते हैं इमेज की प्लेस पे और यहाँ पे इंस्पेक्ट करते हैं। तो यहाँ पे हमको देखने मिल जाएगा कि हमको एक्चुअल पाथ मिल रहा है कि नहीं इमेज का। तो हमको यहाँ पे पाथ तो नहीं मिल रहा है, बस ये जो कॉलम नेम था हमारा वो एज इट इज़ यहाँ पे आ रहा है। तो देखते हैं जहाँ पे डेटा बाइंड कर रहे हैं हम लोग वहाँ पे कुछ प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है डिज़ाइन पेज में। ओपन करते अपना विजुअल स्टूडियो। कार्ड के डिज़ाइन पेज पे जाते हैं और यहाँ पर हम लोग ने कॉलम नेम लिया हुआ है। ओके, बट हम लोग ने जो इवेल फंक्शन के अंदर लेना होता है वो हम लोग ने नहीं किया है यहाँ पर, तो वो ले लेते हैं पहले। कॉपी पेस्ट, इसके एंडिंग में भी क्लोजिंग ब्रैकेट देना है। ठीक है, तो ये अभी वर्क करना चाहिए। इसको सेव करते हैं और ब्राउज़र में आके पेज को रिफ्रेश करते हैं। पेज को रिफ्रेश करते हैं। ओके, लॉगिन कर लेते हैं पहले। कंटिन्यू। ठीक है, यहाँ पे जाते हैं कार्ट में। कंटिन्यू। ठीक है, तो अभी हमारा जो है इमेज यहाँ पे आ गया है। अभी यहाँ पे हमको टोटल प्राइस ये और यहाँ पे ग्रैंड टोटल इसका प्राइस यहाँ पे शो नहीं कर रहा, क्योंकि उन्होंने उसका वहाँ पे ये बाइंड नहीं किए हैं। जब भी रिपर कंट्रोल लोड होता है तो वो टाइम पे वहाँ पे जो इवेंट है ऑन डेटा बाउंड इवेंट, तो वहाँ पे हमको इसका काम करना है, तभी जो है हमको यहाँ पे इसका टोटल प्राइस और ग्रैंड टोटल हमको दिखाई देगा वो। ओके, नाउ वी गेट द इमेज हियर। कैन सी the only thing like is left here is like for displaying the price, total price and the grand total. Okay, so that we need to do in the on data bound event, like when this repeater control gets load, at that time we need to bind some data to it. Okay, so at that time in that event, like we have to deal this thing. Okay, so well, now after that, this designing part of this the quantity is not well formed here. So let's see what's the problem here. We have done that. We have added the code in JavaScript file, like the jQuery function. Okay, and we have also taken the CSS code also in the style.css file, right? So let's see here, well, like whether we have the the file that we get here in browser, whether it's updated or not. So let's search here, go in source, then here we need to go to template files where the actual file is. So in css we have the style.css file. Okay, open it and close this one. So okay, we didn't have that code here. Actually we have added that. So we have added here just after this the this body. After this body we have added that code for this quantity. Okay, but we didn't get here. Okay, let's see for that the JavaScript also. In JS folder we have custom.js file. Okay, let's open it, minimize this, and at the end of the file, uh, that also we didn't get here. We didn't have that the JavaScript function, jQuery function that we have added in this custom JS. We not able to find it here. Maybe it's not gets updated here. Okay, so for that, like we can check that we have already added that code in both of the pages and the CSS as well as for the JavaScript also. So let's check it. So in custom JS, that is for JavaScript, let's open here. You can see we have added at the end for quantity change jQuery function here. You can see here, and in CS page, that is the style.css page, we have added that the CSS code for the product quantity here just after the body tag, but still we are not able to find that in our the page in the browser. Okay, so let's refresh the browser again. Press Ctrl Shift R. First remove this breakpoint here. Continue. Still I think the breakpoint is there. Remove it. Yeah. Continue. Okay. Now the page gets refreshed here. Can see now it's designed properly. Here can see like we can get your the negative just before the card quantity number, and after the card quantity number we can increment it. Okay, so that means now it's working, and we can see like the quantity for the first item we have added twice, right? Two times, so that's why the quantity is 2, and for the second item we have added only for the one time. Okay, so that's why here quantity is 1. Now we need to work on this one, the price and total price. I need to give a space in between the this checkout and this symbol. Okay, font awesome symbol as the same for here. The first one, continue shopping, here update card is okay. Okay, so let's change this little, give space in between that. Okay, so in card design page where we have taken the buttons, here we want space in this, between this symbol and that text. That means we need to give here space. Hmm, yeah, that's it. But I think we have taken here margin 2, margin right 2, so we didn't don't want that. It will take that space. Same for here, we have taken here margin right 2 for the update card, but it takes here, it works here, but not for here. As well as for the checkout also, I think we have taken here margin right. So let's close this one. Maybe it, okay, still not able to get that. Don't know why. Margin right at this side, right? So 2 it will going to take a space, but it didn't get here. Same here for this one, but it's working here. But here in this case, like we want in the left margin left space, margin left hyphen 2. Okay, now refresh the page here in browser. So yeah, now as we get here space, only this part is left. Okay, let's see that also. Here still didn't get that. Okay, I think we need to remove this text part out of this hide tag. So we'll paste here, save it, remove the space as well as from here, save it now, and now refresh the page here. It should work now. Yeah, now it's working fine. So now need to only work on this the total price and grand total. Okay, so that should be done in card code behind page, that is here item on the item data bound. Okay, so I'm pasting here some code. So here it will going to first check the list type item. If it is type of item and type of alternative item, either it's item or alternative item. Okay, then it will going to come inside this if block. So it will going to first like going to find the value from the label control, that is with the name LBL total price, that we have already taken in cart design page. Let's check here. There is label control with the name ID. This is one LBL price, LBL name. We have taken here LBL total price. Here's the label ID, LBL total price. Okay, and then we have taken the LBL price, the price of the product. Okay, here, this one. Okay, so now we got the reference here with that of that label control, as well as we have taken the reference for the text box also with the name txt quantity. Can see here this one text box. Okay, and we have uh, calculated this one, price, the price of a product with the quantity, how many quantity is there, and price here it's in decimal, so we need to convert into decimal, and the quantity like 1 2 3 whatever, so that we need to convert that also in decimal, and then we have to multiply both the uh, data like the price and the quantity, then we'll going to get the total price. Okay, so we have to store that in decimal variable. Okay, and now it's a decimal form variable data, right? Now we need to store it into this one total price, that is a label control of this like where we need to display the total price, so we need to convert into string again. Okay, and then it will going to calculate for everyone, and then it will going to add in grand total one by one, so then we'll going to get the grand total at the last, at the end we're going to get the grand total, and then we're going to store that value in the session grand total price. Here need to change session name, because this session name we have taken here in cart design page. At the end here, this one grand total price, so the session name should be same. Okay, so now this should work now. Okay, let's refresh this part and let's check whether it will work or not. If not work, we need to stop this project and run it again. So let's refresh this page in browser. Okay, so we got the price here. The unit price is 200 and the total price is 400 as per the quantity. Okay, and the price here 300 300. This 4 3 is 700. That means it's working properly here. And if we click here, it will going to display a confirmation message whether like we want to remove this item from the cart or not. Okay, so let's check this like whether its confirmation is we are getting or not. Okay, so we got the confirmation here. Do you want to remove this item from cart? If we click cancel, it will not going to like cancel this operation. If we click on OK, the page get refreshed and the item will going to remove. But that removing functionality we didn't implemented now, so it will not going to remove. Just it will going to refresh the page. That's it. Okay, so that part we'll go on to implement in next video, as well as for this one continuous shopping. Okay, this continuous shopping will work only this update cart checkout and removing item from cart. That functionality like we have to see in next video. We click on continuous shopping. It will take us to the menu page. Okay, that means that part is working. Okay, in next video, like we'll going to change this application name here, and from here also at the bottom in the footer section. Okay, so we'll going to make the changes in the next